Hello and welcome everyone to our very first episode of Convious on Air, the latest leisure and tech news, the podcast about the exciting world of leisure, technology, and best of both worlds. Yes, you guessed it right, technology in the leisure industry. My name is Vanessa and I'm part of the team here at Convious. Convious is an Amsterdam-based hyper startup that is currently busy disrupting the leisure, tours, and activities industry with an AI-powered end-to-end platform to manage visitor spread and online sales and reservations. In this podcast series, we will be talking to various professionals and touch upon the latest trends and developments in the leisure industry that are worth your while. From cutting-edge technologies, creative campaigns, to visitor behavior, we got it all. Especially in times like these, it is so important to stay updated. And also to look out for best practices that you can make your own. As the world has changed so suddenly, the leisure industry has literally been turned upside down. Everyone, including all leisure venues, if that's theme parks, zoos, or aquariums, all are currently trying to cope with the measures that are necessary to ensure everyone's safety. So obviously, a lot has been happening in the market, and that is why we're here today. Today we will be talking about intermediaries in the travel and leisure market and all the developments that we are currently witnessing in this somewhat uncertain and rapidly changing time. To do that, we're going to talk to Camiel Kraan, founder and chief executive officer here at Convious. He has many years of experiences in business-to-business SaaS, e-commerce, and also enterprise software. Here at Convious, if someone has any question about any leisure venue or leisure company in our sphere, the answer is always ask Camiel. So that is exactly what we're going to do today. And with this, I would like to welcome you, Camiel. Happy to have you here.
Yeah, great. Thanks for having me. I'm always very happy to chat about the industry and the future and the challenges that we're facing right now, which are huge challenges, of course. But maybe there's also some stuff happening that actually might benefit in the mid and longer term our industry as well. So, looking very much forward. Let's dive in.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so to give our listeners a little bit of an overall picture, can you explain to us, Camiel, what intermediaries in travel and leisure are, and maybe also why they exist?
Yeah. So right. What are intermediaries in the travel and leisure industry? Well, first of all, I think that they have been around for ages, right? I mean, just look at Thomas Cook. I think that's the best example. A large travel agency actually went bankrupt last year, but I think they started in 1840. So just imagine how long these guys have been actually booking flights and hotels for their customers. So they're also very essential because it always has been about connecting people to the right experience, the right holiday experience. When I was a kid, booking a holiday, the part of the experience was already going to this intermediary, going to the travel agencies, going through a big guide with sunny pictures of hotels and so on and so forth. And this travel agent would sit down beside you and actually come up with the best options for you in the time that you could go and the country that you would like to go and the kind of experience that you wanted to have. So um, and they could do it actually very well because they had access to all the content, being all the hotels, right? So it's always about connecting the visitor to the actual venue because the venue itself excels in giving the experience, but might not really excel in selling it. What changed it, or actually what accelerated a lot, was the rise of internet, right? So at first, when people actually did not really know what the internet was, this, of course, was not something that people would think, hey, in 10 years or so, everybody's going to book their flights, their hotels, their theme parks, their museum on the internet. No, not at all. So that actually demanded for a whole new way of thinking, but also a whole new way of building a company to make that successful. So there you see the rise of the big, what we call curated marketplaces like a booking.com, who were super good in working on the internet, maximizing the opportunities for their customers, but also really knowing how to get the best ad spend, get people to click on the right ads, get people to click on the right offers, get people to actually pay for their trip, and so on and so forth, which was super important because the venues themselves had, and still a lot of them have, no idea how to actually get the visitor to their website and actually buy from them direct, right? So where these intermediaries on the internet were very good at selling, and the venues weren't that good at it. So they were very much focused on the stuff that they could do, which is also key to them: giving the best hospitality and bringing amazing experiences to the people. So it even went that far that a lot of we still see that in some countries, that a lot of venues actually don't have a website themselves. You cannot even book direct with them. You just have to go to a Get Your Guide or to a Booking or to a TripAdvisor to actually making sure that you can book and can enjoy that experience. And that's something that you get to a point that it might be a little bit too dependent, right? Because if you're so dependent on this third party for such a large amount of your revenue, basically your continuity, it might be a little bit tricky. But anyway, intermediaries have always been there. They have a very much essential function because they make sure that you get the reach that you as a venue cannot do themselves. And they just get you bookings, right? Because that's also, at the end, the most important thing.
Yeah, I think the situation you're describing is something we all know, whether we work in this industry or we consume something from the industry. We purchase tickets or go on vacation. We all know how we are sometimes interacting with the direct venue, or sometimes we talk through third parties. So, given the current situation, however, what can we currently witness to be happening in the market in regard to these intermediaries?
So, I mean, right now the world is closed, right? As I just said. Basically, nobody's selling, so nobody's doing any bookings, and everybody's struggling. It's a reason that nobody can change because it's kind of, well, it's governmental instigated. What's also happening is that when now that the world, at least parts of the world, are already looking to reopen, um, in the past they were using these middlemen or these intermediaries or these booking agencies mainly to get more people and maximize opportunities, right? Sell the best, sell out at the best possible price. And how they would do it was also kind of dictated by these middle agencies. But if you look at what's happening right now, their main concern might not be selling out anymore because the developments brought by this pandemic um, is that capacity needs to be brought down, rules need to be applied, regulations are in place, and so we're very strict. They need to have a distance of, well, in the Netherlands it's 1.5 meters, but in other countries it's even more. So, as an effect, selling out is not this big question anymore, not this big desire anymore. I mean, just look at China, right? So, their venues reopening, but their capacity is just downsized to 30% of what it used to be. And this is also happening with our customers in Europe. So, if we see that is happening, this whole sell out principle that, or sell more principle that you would use your intermediate for, suddenly is not that applicable anymore. So if it's not applicable, why would you do it? Because they're not adding extra value or extra revenue, and the revenue that they're bringing in will come at a higher cost than if you would do it yourself, right? I mean, basically, sell through an intermediary will cost you a larger portion in commission over this sales than if you would do it yourself. So you would pay the middleman, you would not get in more revenue, and you would not sell out anymore because you would sell out yourself anyway, right? So this all of a sudden has a paradigm shift because why not then invest a little bit more time and effort and money in this direct way, right? Sell direct from your own website, from your own channel, because it's cheaper, but not just cheaper, but it also allows you to control and manage your visitor stream, right? And what they do, and making sure that they get informed at the right point in time. And when anything changes in the regulations, that you know who's coming in your venue or in your hotel, and that you know how to reach out to them directly, and that you have their phone number or details or whatever stuff that you would not always have in place if you would sell through an intermediary. So as a result, venues and the travel industry is kind of contemplating the way to work with these intermediaries. And of course, this explicit scenario that I'm now painting is only applicable if you would have your direct channel in place, right? I mean, if you're not selling anything, you kind of have to go back and to your middleman and sell through them. But don't get me wrong. I mean, there's a place for the booking industry, the booking.coms of this world, and it's here to stay. I mean, they're huge companies and they have a very well executed model of getting visitors to the venues, and I don't think that they will be abandoned at all. I just think that what we see is that the industry themselves, and they were always complaining a little bit about it, but now they have a chance to rethink the strategy together with these companies, right? How are we working together with them? Are we giving them a smaller portion and we're trying to do a little bit more themselves? And this whole rethinking is something that's happening right now and that we see also happening right now within our own customer base.
This is actually very, very relevant for anyone operating within these markets, right? To make these observations and work with them. So can you put together what exactly each venue should take away from knowing this?
Right. So I think there are mainly three takeaways, right? First of all is you have to be online. Not just having a website, but you need to be able to reach out to your customers so that they can book, reserve, buy everything online. Because days have passed that people are walking up to your venue to buy a couple of tickets, that will be gone, right? And if you need to be compliant with every rule and regulation that's put in place for you, you need to make sure that they can do everything online and not just when they're visiting you. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that in this day and age, you can compete to the big online agencies. You can be selling smart online, and there's a lot of automation tools. There's a lot of artificial intelligence and platforms that allow you not just to have a web shop, but really to have something in place that gets you ahead. To get you ahead in reaching out, get you ahead in having an email marketing platform in place, get you ahead in getting better price for your tickets. Basically, everything that you would need to have better results are for you to grab, and not at high cost, and it doesn't cost a lot of money, but also not a lot of time and effort. So I would really urge people to put some time in that to make sure that it's not just a dumb web shop, but really have something that retail in e-commerce has already invented like ages ago. Thirdly is that as you will be able, or you need to be able to continuously adapt to new rules and regulations, I would really endorse companies when they have something in place that it's something that they control themselves, right? So don't let it be done by an external agency or an external system. Let it be done by people that are within your organization, because you know best what your customers like and don't like, and you also know best how to make sure that you are compliant. So when something changes, for instance, capacity, or there's a new rule, there's a new regulation, you want to be in control over what's happening within your venue with your visitors before, during, and after their visit. So that's actually the third one that I think is super important. Be in control, sell more of your own website, and be online. And that's it.
Well, one thing is for sure, I could have not said it better. You made a lot of very valid points, and I think it's very important to get this word out and to share this experience with one another, because what you just said can help many venues operating more efficiently, and especially right now, this is super, super important. So thank you so much, Camiel.
Well, no, thank you for inviting me and having me to chat about this topic. I can go for hours, obviously. So, no, thanks a lot. It was great to be here.
I really hope you guys out there took away as much as I did from this chat with Camiel. Thanks so much for listening to our first episode of Convious on Air. My name is Vanessa, and it was great bringing to you what has been happening in the world of online booking and leisure. And if you like our show and want to know more, check out convious.com or check our blog with all kinds of best practices for the leisure venues of all kinds and great insights into how to handle the current situation. You can find our blog under blog.convious.com. Have a great day, and please join us next time.